joining. I'm finishing setting everything else up. I think, yeah, the phone is supposed to have, there we are on this one. I think it says that I'm online. Yes, I tweeted it, so everything should be running right now. Let me make sure this, okay, it still doesn't work. Today is Earth Day. Happy birthday, Earth. To a point. Maybe Earth is a Libra after all. Gary Pratchett, New Game Unquote. For those who have not read Good Omens, you should read Good Omens. And then in a moment, let's start. I'm going to lower the light. Oh, you don't see it because there is no webcam. But I lowered the light here so I don't have as much glare. I have flux set up from Home Assistant to make sure that the light is at least redder. But it's still nice to have a little less light when doing this kind of thing, given that I don't really need much light to do this kind of work. And today, as I was saying, it's Earth Day, so I wanted to point out that I have no need or intention to have any subscription like Patreon and whatever Twitch thingy works like, because it's not my cup of tea. I don't do this professionally. I used to run the blog as give or take my first main window into the world, but it's no longer the case for many years. So I am still blogging and streaming clearly, but I don't do this as a full-time thing anymore. So I have no need for particularly heavy social media presence. So if you do enjoy my work, what you may be wanting to do this time around will be to donate to our local park, Gansbury Park, but are still needing support. They had a fire in the cafe last year, so just to add to the whole mess that has been the pandemic for most of these institutions. And yeah, they are clearly in need of help. We donated last year, we'll donate again this year. We'll hope that they will be able to cover the cost of running the park because it's a beautiful park. It has nice parakeets, has nice crows, it's nice flowers. Like, you've seen this in my pictures if you have, well, not this is Carvajal, but here it is. And yes, if anybody can see that, well, probably not, but if you go on my Flickr page and you can see this picture, or you just go to Instagram and you'll see it very close up, that is Sonic over there. We live fairly close to Sega Europe. I know that for most English speakers, but Sega Europe rather than Sega Europe. Yeah, the Italians following me knows why I call it Sega Europe. Oh yeah, there you go. You can actually see Sonic fairly well. And on the other side over there is Dell. So if anybody has any intention to visit Dell EMC, They're not far from here. Just give me a shout after pandemic is over. And yes, it's a beautiful park, sometimes strange. Not all of this was done during a lunch break, but a lot of it was during lunch breaks, because it's nice to do these things during lunch breaks. I do enjoy having a park I can just walk up to during a lunch break with a camera and take a few good pictures. But for now, let's go to code, which again didn't turn up on Streamlabs. There we go. So, do I have? Yes, I do have. In reversing, I have the first connection pickup. Well, first, point of order. The chair doesn't squeak anymore. Turns out that you need to undo most of it because the thing that squeaks is a spring in a plastic housing which is directly underneath the seat. So if you want to actually stop it from squeaking, you need to remove the seat and the back, and then you can actually get there and oil it, which is not terrible, let's be honest. It was an okay amount of work to get it done, but it's still a bit of work. Anyway, it doesn't squeak. Awesome. I didn't have to replace it. Second point, I'm going to be working on usbmon-tools, which, as I said some time ago, it's my set of utilities to deal with USB captures on Linux and Windows, if you use USB pickup on Windows. It's a Python set of tools. It supports pickup files of both types. It can't write them right now. It does some of the filtering, which is handy to have. And I have these, let me open it and show you. I have these additional tools that are chatter tools. And chatter tools, they are designed to just go and output a certain set of information based off the stream. So I have written one over the streams in the past. If you haven't seen them, mice.tv. And I have written this one for the cp210x, which is a Silicon Labs USB to UART adapter. It's a fairly common one, as it turns out, because A, it's cheap, and B, it includes the 3.3 volts regulator, which makes things much easier to deal with. And as it turns out, I use it in my own design because JLC PCB has it available as one of the components that you can put on the SMT systems. As I said, it's fairly cheap. It's less than £1 per item, and it includes the 3.3 volts regulator. That makes it handy to just connect straight to something else like ESP32 module or Arduino, not Arduino, Atimega 328 if you want to run into 3.3 volts. And it has a bunch of GPIOs, so even though the kernel mostly implements only the serial interface, you can actually control more than just the serial interface. So I was actually considering trying to set this up to use it with an 8051 and have both the programming and the access of the serial console for debugging into the same chip. I have not really done much about that yet. Eventually, I haven't really sent anything to JLC in a long while now. I do want to send a bunch of things, by the way. So if anybody is curious, I will probably be streaming at least one next weekend, because I don't think UPS will manage to get this here before this weekend. But next weekend, I'm most likely going to be streaming a bit of work trying to reverse engineer the protocol used by my air conditioner control unit. Because, and you may have seen that on Twitter even, and the reason for that is that our air conditioning control units are just fixed in place on the wall, which is fairly annoying. And they cannot be controlled even without standing up. If you forget something on and you're already in bed, you need to go wake up, stand, go where you need to go, turn it off. It's annoying. I want to be able to do it from Home Assistant. Also, I was very used to Nest just doing the right thing when we leave and stuff like that. I cannot do any of that, obviously, with this air conditioning unit. I will have to build my own. Anyway, that aside, cp210x. The Silicon Labs cp210x is a fairly common device, fairly handy, fairly easy to use to implement in a design. So I would like to support it better because I use it. And sometimes I would like to be able to look at my own tools, what they do, what they work. So I do want to have a cp210x really, really, really well working. To get this to work, I got the chatter, but it doesn't do UART settings. So last time, if you remember, I tried going through these by just opening logic from Sale and just trying to figure out, okay, what right parameter will do, and it was something silly like 38,400, 8 and 2, no 8. I don't remember even anymore, but it was with parity, so it was like strange stuff. Anyway, let's try to figure out the configuration package, shall we? That is the first connection from the GM aerial, but I know that it is a bit of a strange configuration, so it should be sending the right configuration. As far as I know, the cp210, 210.4 don't actually allow to predefine which baud rate and which settings to use, so you need to provide it. Otherwise, I think they start with 9600 and 1, 8 and 1. So anyway, let me activate the env, which I think is in the end. Activate, there we go. And I have usbmon capture stats. What is the pickup file? Oh, I need an address prefix. I don't remember. So just give me all the stats. Yeah, so it can work with that. So let's start with that. It should not be forcing me to give an address prefix for this because I may not know the address prefix. So address prefix required. This is not required. Default is what is going to be, because if that thing doesn't exist, if it doesn't start with address prefix, if it's empty, everything starts with it. Continue. Like, that's fine. That's all they need. If we do this now, it should work. Yes. Okay, so that's already better. Like, this gives me the USB descriptor device. I should probably fix this to be slightly easier to read. It would be nice to do a USB IDS lookup, to be honest, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon. It's fine. Like, I can tell, for instance, that this is the one I'm looking for. 10C4 is Silicon Labs. Yes, I've been doing this for way too long. I should not be knowing by heart like what's going on. Yeah. Okay. So let's fix print. Okay, I can just probably just add this to the device descriptor. and I didn't mess it up. It should be working. Oh, did I explicitly do a wrapper on the device? Yes, I did. Okay, that one was easy. So now we know that the one we want is 1115. Also, by the way, folks, if you are in chat and you want to ask questions about any of the projects I worked on in the past, this project, any other project, any reverse engineering efforts that I've been doing for the past whatever amount of time, feel free to ask. I'm happy to be distracted because like this is just 2 hours I'm going to be setting aside to do some open source work just to keep myself well oiled, like the chair. Sorry, I know I'm inordinately proud of the chair being oiled and not squeaking anymore because the last time I got so annoyed about the chair, but I spent most of the streaming standing up with a standing desk because I couldn't stand the noise. So yeah, I'm happy about that. Also, by the way, make sure, like if you have these kind of chairs and you may want to do maintenance from time to time, which is always a good idea, make sure you have a proper set of sockets, magic sockets, because sockets and metric hex keys. Because yes, you can definitely use the IKEA tooling because I'm sure that all of you who want this kind of chairs have a lot of IKEA stuff and a lot of IKEA tools. But IKEA tools works fine if you need to build up one thing once every 6 years. If you want to do maintenance on this kind of thing, or you have a lot of IKEA furniture that sometimes needs to be refreshed or cleaned or whatever, just make sure you have a set of sockets and a set of hex keys. Metric because it's IKEA. At least in Europe. I don't know. In the US, it will be different. I know that IKEA in the US is a bit funny. Anyway, make sure you have those because that makes all the difference. Like trying to do this chair with the original Allen key, like it would have taken me a whole day. I just used the electric screwdriver with a socket set, and it was like less than an hour, and everything was done. So, wholly recommend. Also, the bolts were thread locked. I needed to go and grab some thread locker because there was no thread, like I didn't have any thread locker at home. I don't usually keep thread locker at home. I didn't realize, but they set it up so that the bolts will be thread locked in place. Yeah, you need some pressure to take it off. You're not here to listen to me about ranting about the chair, so I don't know why I'm talking about the chair. This is not an IKEA stream. Although now I'm thinking I may actually, next time I get some furniture, try to do an IKEA live stream of like just setting it up. That will be very fun. Anyway, so that's aside. Back to where we were. We know that this is 115. Yes, we did that. It's not working, but is it? Oh no, but because then it tells me of the devices even if there is a prefix. So I will probably just need to ignore that. So I do it this way, it should just give me the 1. Yeah, but it's a little confusing otherwise. On the other hand, I can do this, and you should be getting like 3 of them, or 4, or a lot more. Why do I have 115 USB device attached, by the way? Like, that number makes no sense. 5 of them, okay. Sure, why not? So we know that 600 were controls, 5400 were interrupt, and 250 were bulk for the whole prefix. Oh no, that's not the one I want. I want one from 115. And the others, I actually have no idea what they are. I could look it up, but I'm not going to care. Like, 2 of these are from the same. No, they're not even the same. They're not the same manufacturer, are they? This is 056A and the other is 056E. That is very strange. What are they? 056A and 056E. Not Corvette, no. One is a Wacom and the other is an Elecom. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense, but they're there. And now the reason why I have 115 item on the address bus makes a little bit more sense, because the USB switch that I'm using does a disconnect reconnect. So every time I switch between that computer and this computer and the work computer and this computer and that computer and the work computer, it will just go and re-enumerate. And yes, so the one of these two is the mouse, well, the trackball, and the other one is the graphic tablet. So yes, they do have a lot of events going on. Both are not useful in any way or form. So it's only control and bulk. And that's a bit strange. But they are for, okay, so there are 8 that are sent to 1151, or received from that. 0, which will be the bulk, and the, okay. Okay, cp210. What did we do with this one? Well, it's looking for the default vendor ID, default product ID. Awesome, yeah, that's fine. This should probably be find something, but so what this does is, oh, you know, this one is looking for 1150 because it's looking for this address, so 1150, to see if it is the right thing. If it is, then it will go ahead and use that as the device address. Over here, starts for thing that starts with device address. Oh, that makes no sense. So I missed out a new one. So if I do usbmon chapter 102.1.0, yes. Reversing. So we said that this 00 H2, like H2 is fine, like this is the response from the H2. So this is the actual chatter. I check if the submission start press starts with 115. What if I do? No address, oh, device address. This doesn't make much sense, does it? Okay, so this is... Oh, if it is bulk, it just ignores it. But is that correct? What happens if I do this? Is it maybe the bulk that has the setting that I want? Maybe. But no, that's the XH2. Is it? Yeah, that's the one. Oh yeah, so this one is going to print, like, the submission is empty, 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 XH2, because that's writing. So that's the right direction. Like these submissions here, both transmissions here, they do seem to be doing the right thing. So now it's time to go and look a little bit to the datasheet, because I'm fairly sure I need a datasheet for this. So let's do that. The flower intensified. One of show programming. Two internal programmable ROM. Oh yeah, that may be the... Let's see. Does it have a... No, it has a product description and serial number and release number. That one is fixed. Product ID. Like this is the stuff that is in the programmable ROM. So you can change this one if you build something based on the cp210 or 204. But this is 210. 204 is the more recent one, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, probably. But cp209 is the new one. It's a cost-reduced version of the cp210. Yeah, this one is a problem. Yeah, I don't think there is anything else useful like that you can configure that. The default, yeah, the USB Express API are set there. You can see party type not even odd and blah 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 blah. Additional baud rates are supported. But that doesn't. The by string release version would be power mode. You see, like modem signals, special functions, interface options. I don't think the interface option does. Let's see. Device configuration. Oh yeah, before configuration, you can set all the GPIO stuff. These are very cool devices, by the way. I don't think all of this stuff is like a program to device. I don't think all of this is supported by kernel driver. Maybe there are tools for Linux to do this. I've never looked into that. As I said, I use it for a bunch of things, but I don't really do that much more. Port configuration, these are the default, bus powered. Yeah, anyway. It's not what I want either. Let me see, cp210x Linux kernel driver. Let's see if it has a bulk thingy. Okay, that's interesting since it's an kernel driver. Ah, look, somebody has questions about the GPIO support for it. Oh wow. Okay, now I'm curious to see what this code does. It seriously? Custom IOCTL GPIO get on it? I can see why they didn't accept it. No, cp210x supported by the Linux kernel for GPIO. That's a lot of entries by the way for the cp210 and so on. I think I have one or two of these. Set event mask. This has the config request code, so this should be the useful stuff. And I want the parity. Yeah, bit parity. Set get line CTL. What's the thing I want? Okay. It writes U16 right. And that does that. It sends a control message. Host to interface at the interface number. Control message. Did we get any control message on that? We did. So I guess setup packet, setup that class. So what's a host to interface? What it is there then? I'm showing the wrong thing. Let's see what the step type is going to be. No, I'm bringing the actual setup, the full setup packet. That's not what I wanted. Vendor, 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 vendor. Oh look, oh no, that's the. Oh yeah, because I'm not passing now. This is just the request for the standard request. I assume type vendor is what I want. The question is, what do I want? Oh, there you go. Okay, so the request that it sent for this. So let me duplicate this tab a few times. So we were saying the line CTL, that line CTL. Set line CTL, there you go. Set line CTL is 0x03, so I need to find something that says 0x03 somewhere. And the port for that is this port over here. Where is port? Oh, port is the actual structure. Okay, so. And the bits is the configuration that I want. What size is bits? 16. Well, yes, it does say U16 rack. So this gets the serial port, and then it sends a control message. It says USB SN send control pipe to the device with a request, and the request is, so this rec here is the 003 in this case, 0x03 setline CDL, and the value of whichever bytes I set. Okay. Let's see where this is defined. Also, let me just say that I don't understand how on earth does GitHub search ever work for anybody? Can I? Oh, maybe restructured text. We should have a documentation for it. Yeah. Error codes, Instagram. No, it doesn't. And then search. I'm looking for this one. Yes. Not restructured text. What I didn't see. With this extension H. Seriously, I need to log in to search. Yeah. That's not going to happen. Let me just clone this on another. For reference, I'm not going to log into my GitHub account on Edge because one of the unfortunate issues of working for a big company is that you end up with a lot of private repository being visible from your GitHub account, and I'm not going to stream logged in. Why do I need to log into search? Like, it makes no sense. Like, the basic search is fine. Like, if I want advanced search, I can. I assume it has something to do with denial service protection, but still, it's very silly. Particularly when the freaking search doesn't actually work when you're looking. Like, if I'm looking for a function name, I would expect to find the definition of the function name rather than all the cases where it is used. I don't think this is a forcing issue. Like it will be very silly to like force users that way. I should have used, yeah, I should have used the. It's taking forever. Kernel, yeah. I know that there is, yeah, the kernel git repository from Google search. It's actually faster. Not that faster. Only 28 megabytes per second. Seriously? Even from Google source? Okay, 38, 41, it's getting faster. Maybe I should have done this from outside WSL. But at least this time it's getting so much faster to do it, so yeah. Still giving a little more time. And solving deltas, that's the easy part, and the fast part. So what we need to find now is that definition for, and somebody who's been working more closely with USB probably knows the definition by heart, and it's like they are currently looking at my stream, they're probably screaming of like, it's obvious what those parameters are, and it probably is for most people who've been working on the internal drivers for a long while. I don't work with internal drivers a long time usually. So yes, I would like to know what USB control message does. Oh, there is a manual. Not with that. Okay, device pipe, endpoint pipe. That's what we have. USB request type value, and the request and request type value and index. So this thing request at 0x03, it's a request type host to interface. Okay, so that's going to be funny. It's control message, right? Deal to control URB, sets it off and waits for completion. And the data is, it's not value, like, wait, value, no, it's not data, it doesn't have data with that. So that's the big empty packet we were seeing most likely, or at least some of it. So if I go to, let me go back to, it's still resolving the data as well. So if we look at setup, oh, you can even hear the CPU currently trying to resolve those deltas. So this is going to be class vendor reserve. So that's not what we want. It's the recipient that we want. The recipient should be interface. So let's see if this brings out anything interesting. Well, it brings out something. All of these as here, they are the setup packets. This thing over here should also have been skipped. I don't know why. What did I did? I did something wrong, right? Oh, I do I need to print button pass to have the same as before, do I? Auto output. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, this is an 1201. Like this is internal. I didn't want to print that. Oh, because yeah, sorry. Now I realize. This part over here. What's this noise? Wow. What's this noise? That's off. Huh. The pass here is actually getting into this thing. It's just like if it is not any of these, continue and move on. So what I did over here by just saying, hey, if it is control, just print it, all of them, and as long as there is a setup packet. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to possibly include this setup packet over here. But I don't think there is any setup type class. And the reason why I left that on last time by mistake is because I copied it very quickly and roughly from the cp210. The cp210 is very similar to the cp210. I think it's even drop-in replacement for one of them. I don't remember which one of them. Like it's being compatible, but it uses HID protocol to send the serial. So you end up not just with a USB to UART, but it's a USB to, well, HID to UART. The main reason for that, as far as I can tell, as far as I understand, is that you can actually use one of those without any operating system drivers, implement the whole thing in user space, implement the whole thing at low privilege, because as it turns out, Windows, Mac, and Linux all allow you to send and receive HID messages to raw devices without needing special privileges, whereas to send URB is like direct USB communication to the device. It does require elevated privileges. So by using HID to UART, you can do that without needing any drivers, and so any privilege, which is kind of cool. Also, with the whole web HID, web USB stuff, you can actually send HID over USB. Sorry, HID over web, over a browser. So that gives you access to a serial port over the browser for things like Chromebooks or Windows S devices. Is it S, X, Windows 10S, something like that? The lockdown version of Windows 10. So all of those things are fairly useful and interesting. So anyway, this one doesn't have a class because it's not HID class device, so that part should have never been there. Like it would have never hit the, yeah, this is a control packet for the class. But it does tell me that setup packet here, like if it is instead recipient of an interface, that's the thing that I want most likely. And indeed, here we are. So it sends a setup class to the interface, which is C1, I think it's the length. So let's see, this is the stop with actual stop class handling. So the first one is the request type. Oh no, it's actually, sorry, it's a bit struct. So yeah, the direction, the type, and the recipient. So the type in this case, I don't know, vendor probably, or control. The control, maybe that is control. So it's 41 bits integer 125. This is, we know it's, well, direction is going to be out. Type should be control. No, sorry. Type is this type over here. So it's going to be vendor, because all of those are vendor types. And recipient is going to be interface. So I want this one to be if the submission packet recipient is that, but also if it is vendor. This is awful, but okay. I don't like this formatting. I will want to let this stay on the same line, but never mind. So we know that if this is vendor and that one is interface, and like should actually also be out, so submission setup packet of direction is usbmon setup direction, and the direction in that case is host device. That is kind of awful, let's be honest. Actually, we're already checking the direction, right? Oh, this is a submission, so it's always going to be that way. So direction, we don't really need to care. Yeah, so it stays the same. So in that case, yeah, that's request type. Then that's the request. So the request is U8, and that's actually, yeah, that's going to be set9 CPL. So now I need to do something like this one. So there is a support cp210 that I wrote. And I also added a cp210x next to it that only has the two constant for the vendor and product ID. If you look at the 2110 over here, I do have like a get report ID, parity settings, flow control, and so on. So let's parse the same. So this is going to be a param. So what was the name of this? And we know about the set line CPL. Is your X. Now the other thing we want is the structure. So this one, did I use construct for this one? I did use construct for this one as well. So let me import construct as well. Construct is an awesome library for this kind of things. So line CPL, did I use that stuff? It's going to be a bit structure, unlike the other one. Because the bits have data 5, 6, 7, 8 is sum of the blocks, then parity, and then bits. So let's go and figure that out. Okay, so then assuming most significant byte first, which hopefully that's what construct is doing, right? Assuming most significant byte first, the first nibble is empty, the second nibble is the data size, the third nibble, yeah, the whole fourth nibble is the parity, and the last nibble is the stop. That makes things much easier. So let's pop to yeah, this one is a bit struct, just so I remember the syntax, because otherwise there is not memory. So we said, oh, okay. It's a bits const, const. I don't remember the syntax for the bit constant. Yeah, so that's a nibble. Is it const on the nibble? I think it's const on the nibble. Oh, I can do padding, so it's padding 4. And then so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's interesting, but it is like it masks the whole nibble, but it is actually just the values 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So this is going to be the bytes. construct mapping, construct dot bits integer 4. This is what I used before, so I need to do an enum here, or a couple of enums here. Make I mean the same values by chance. Oh, on this one. No. Oh, sorry. Colon. Parity. Num is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, those are the same. Space 4, mark 3. So this part is actually literally the same. I don't see the flow control bits here. Oh no, there you go. Because it's a different set group. So that's okay. And the data bits here, I think they were, yeah, that's what just raw data bits is a byte. Like it doesn't really do. Oh, even worse, like that was raw data bits was virtual, like because it was actually not, like it was computed. Um, it's it's less. The parity I want the same. Petabytes. Actually, that's just petabytes. It's not a mapping. That's just petabytes. That one is raw. It's not even computed. Then the parity, the same. So this one parity is construct mapping. Construct its integer 4. And the mapping is going to be the same as this one, the same comprehension, except that instead of being in recipient, it is going to be in parity. And the last bit is the number of stop bits. 1, 1.5, and 2. Did I have it? Yeah, stop bits, short and long. That was different from what we have over here. And stop bits 1. Half. Go. And this is the last nibble. So okay. That should give me the yard config. Well, it's not quite the yard config, this is just a line CTL in this case. And then I need this print yard config bucket. I'm going to actually copy most of these, and I'm going to make it part of support instead. I think that the constructed struct that I get for that. I think. Did I type that one originally? No, I didn't. Construct container. this is going to be a request integer, and that's going to be get line_ctl 4. This is oh, it doesn't set without rate, by the way. So this one I need to find it later. So this is going to be okay. This is print okay. Need to remember the anomaly syntax to look up a certain number, right? Okay, what happens if it doesn't exist? Okay, that's interesting. I don't remember what happens if the request is not there. We'll find out. So what's a request? And that's what. Let me make sure about it. And yes, despite the fact that they wrote all of this code, like okay, it was a while ago, but they wrote this code. But I wrote this code, I still don't remember what is what. What do I want here is B request, not just request. And the reason why it is using Hungarian notation, not with a B in front, is because I took it directly from the standard. Submission packet B request. So this is going to be parse request is cp210x dot request, and I'm going to put this. Is there. And I need to actually parse it first. So the request, we want to read value, I think, right? Yeah, before the interface number, yeah, it's the value, W value. Ooh, what's going to be interesting then? Can I do a bit struct parsing on construct on an integer? Oh yeah, because that doesn't work. I need to do it this way, maybe? Yeah, that works. That's 15. It's enable. So let's actually not make this into a container. Let's have it as an integer. Needs to be between these two numbers anyway. These can be hidden. Yeah, and this. If you don't save it, that's fine. Type request has no attribute members. What? I forgot I need to derive it off internal. That's fine. Little aside on this one. So this is the Python enum model. You need to derive of enum and you get the whole thing. This is the Python data classes module. You decorate your class. Why is there no decorator for this? Next. Sure, there is a unique decorator, but can I just decorate my class and say, hey, I want this class to be an integer enum, or I want this to be an enum, I want it to be an integer, and I want to be unique. Why data classes has everything here, and enum has 4 different derivation and a decorator? Seriously, why? Aside, over. Setup bucket has no attribute be request. Oh yeah, because I'm parsing, but right, I'm not calling the requester. Yeah, I have request type, which I don't care. It's request what I want. It's not a standard request either. And then I want value, and that's it. So this is just request, and this is just value. Consistency is hard, but it's Python. It should not be hard to have consistency in Python. Like that's the one true way. You don't want to have multiple ways to skin a cat. Value 15 is not a valid request. That's what it does. So Last request, try, accept, else. They should have been continuing. Fast. This is obvious. True. So this is not going to work because yeah, the value is an integer and I want to get an integer in, an integer out. Need to pack this, right? I don't want the lazy parsing. I want to parse a string, I don't want to parse a file. Do I need to actually... Okay, I guess I need to do it the other way. I cannot use a construct here for this one. But they're all aligned on many bolts, so it's not a big deal. So all of these are going to be I should have probably checked out first. So this is data bytes, is this one. The first one is just a number, the second one is a parity, so this one is 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0. And these are 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, sorry, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. It's like it's still what we're talking about, it's not data bytes. Okay. Yeah, no, I think I made some mistakes somewhere. Certain direction is not known at the end. So that is the end, right? 145, yeah. Insert direction is not known because I should have reconstructed everything. Oh yeah, so this should be pass. Why is it known? What would be submission direction? Okay, a little better, but not quite. This logic is a bit more dummy than I was thinking it was going to be. So let's try to figure this out again for a moment. This is get line control, set line control, get line control, set line control. Parity odd, data bits 0, stop bits 1. That's the right configuration, that's the parity odd. So, but parity is parsing right. But I clearly made a mistake on what I'm passing and what I'm not. So maybe there is a class, but I'm ignoring. It's not narrowing out now. Because this thing over here I don't want to actually see. I'm seeing this, which is fine. This part is correct. I'm also seeing this, which I shouldn't, because it's not part of what I care about. So if it is not, the submission is not for this device, so that will pass, that's all, like, that's fine. If it is a bulk, that's fine, we want to log it. If it is a class, sure, go on. If it is a vendor interface, try to parse it. If I comment this out, still get a lot more device information than I want, because I'm receiving something, but I don't want to. Let me see where this comes from. Ah, type standard. We don't need no stinking standard for this one because it's not a standard request. There you go, set line control, parity known, data bit 0, stop bits 1. So I actually want to have that value, or is that? I want the value, I want the name. Name, yes. Nearly there, nearly there. Parity known, data bit 0, stop bits 1. Somehow I get control and set control a few times, I don't know why. Yeah, what's going on with this one? Or both above? So it's still printing more than I want to do. What's right now? The time for those standard class vendor reserved. So if the packet type is different from vendor, continue. Otherwise, if the recipient is interface to this, because they're all going to be vendor, right? Not class in this case. Still, but stuff very strange. So that one has a setup bucket. The device responds with data. It makes no sense. So it's sent to the interface, recipient interface. That's a set line control. I'm gonna get P0442. Oh, which is actually the if that's multiple things combined. Oh, is it because I'm ignore only those? What happens? I'm not getting my square brackets from. Yeah, so I'm currently skipping a packet that I actually don't need, that I don't want to skip. Oh, I know what's going on. It is a control packet, and if it does not have a setup packet, I want to pass. Otherwise, I want to check if it is not vendor, I want to continue. And then I want to check if it goes to the interface. Because the both without the setup packets are the ones that actually carry the data. I thought at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, what was there before? What was the logic there? If the submission type So you wanted to pass if the citation setup packet and the type is class. I want to deal with that. We get class packets. Get standard packets. Okay, so I want to do this once. There is no setup packet, I don't care. That packet is not vendor, I don't care. If that packet goes to interface, I don't care. Otherwise, alright, I can look at the rest of the set line CTL, set body, vendor specific, set baud rate, get low, set chars, get chars. These are possibly what I need to do. I think this one works. There is still something's not going right. Do it this way. This is the original version. It doesn't do any of the things. It still errors out with direction it's not. Something strange. Yeah, so this one is working fine. Okay, these are bulk. Yeah, that's the issue that will where it's bulk output submission. So am I doing something stupid with the bulk this time? I have. It is that. Oh, there you go. Starting getting there. Oh, it was pointing at the wrong file altogether, or from device altogether. Still get this stray output now, but I at least get the right thing here. Like this P over here, the best to host, I'm not actually receiving this. if that's what I think it is. No, still something. Some of this is like that's 50 var still var, 80 var is still var. And let's see what's going on there. Where should I put an entry there? So device to host. Going to ignore it. Interface. Vendor, host to device, setline control. There you go. Vendor, host to device, recipient interface. Yeah, host to device. Yeah, like type host to device. What does it? The GPIO status seems to be a host to device thing for right latch, but I don't think. Oh. Supports GPIO even for other, like not just for those things, so. Yes, but type vendor, host to device, recipient interface, and then all of this, probably. Yeah, these are happening. So that's a host to device, the interface, and it starts with 42. I don't know what the value is. What the request is, sorry. Okay, so this one is get props. That's the one we know. This is at 0x9. No, that's just 19, not 0x19. 19, and I don't remember what is that. So 16 is 10, is 13. Get flow, whatever that get flow is. Yeah, it's a control handshake, a flow replace. It is actually a 16 bytes thingy. This is more than 16 bytes, so this is 40 bytes. So this is the flow control. It's 25. So about 6 more. Oh, that's actually not in the list. Did I get it wrong? 19. 13, yeah. So that's that. Oh, set flow. Host to device, yes, text flow, and then I get the. Yeah, it seems to be getting some stuff out. I don't know why. There's some stuff received on set flow. I don't know why. And the other is 0x19, which is set chars, which should be like send it out, I guess. That's 8, which is get MDMSTS, whatever that means. still control flow state. Like none of those I care about. We know that the first thing we care about is HU. Or what is that for? Okay, so that's 0x30, which is 1e, which is set baud rate. What? Oh, sorry, that's a new one, not the last one sent. The last one sent, these ones are the bulk. To figure out which one I need to use here. What was the HU is the first thing that sends. Oh, because I'm getting all of those. So this is the last message when the direction changes device to host, when it's receiving stuff. And that's why it printed the stuff. So I need to figure out the host to device, type 7, 30, 25, 19. And I want 13 if it's and if I'm right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of ways up should be HU type 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'm wrong. 20. Oh, sorry, this is sending, so I want 25. Is that 19? Yeah, set chars. There you go. This is the one I want. Set chars. It's actually send chars rather than set chars. I call it set chars. First, else. If I am right, this should now have the output I need, and then we can add the baud rate, and then I think I'll call it a day. Oh, sorry, I forgot to remove that print. Yeah, set line control, a bunch of data I don't care about, so that's not what I want. I do get host, yeah, device to host, that's to set the time, and then get these ones that I don't really want. Why do I get those? Oh, because it needs to try this. Except past, no, except should be continue. Now it should be actually printing only the stuff we want. Or not. Oh, print that and continue. What is it? Set line control, set line control, set line control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why is it like it's repeated clearly? Like this is the same. But why is it there? Where do these ones come from? So the host device there. So let me remove that. That part is working fine. Host to device frame. Show me what you are adding there together. It's a control out 4119. This is actually a write request because 0x19 should be set chars. Set chars. And HU is the one I want here. So what's on with this one? Bulk out is what I want. What does this do? Like, this is not what I want, right? This is set chars. Yeah, these things are the ones that I see here. But what I want is only this one. But it is set chars, I'm going to continue. So let me see, if I do it this way, I'm not doing set chars. But it is using set chars sometimes. Ah, they are set special characters. That's what's going on. Set chars is not what I want. Sorry, let me move to Edge. This is flow control. This is a virtual COM protocol. So this is setting the set chars. Oh, go back. Yeah, so usually they are x on 0x11, x off 0x13, and that's the ones I see being set as set chars when the line is set to parity known data bit 0. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you the right thing. Here we go. When it's set to data bit 0, I think I got data bit 0 wrong though. Yeah, 5, 6, 8, 9. Should be 8, not 0. Why is it 0? Data bits is Oh, should have been it. So set char, set was, and that means it sets set special character. Oh wait, this is finally application note 571 has the details of how to, like, I'm going to actually write this down. Yeah, so there is one reference to AN571 in the whole Linux kernel driver for cp210x. And yes, it just squeaked. It didn't squeak in the usual place. This is the armrest that is squeaking. Yes, I will fix that as well. That it anyway, like, I wanted to know which annex was the right one, and I never found it. Turns out it's AN571. Yay, I have it. I don't have to guess it anymore. Anyway, so yeah, page 15 will have explanation of that thing, and that will be this one. Yeah, set chars ctable 12. There we go. So what it does is character that indicates EOF on the input is 0x04, and then the character that causes bit 2 of event occurred must to be set whenever it's received is 0xa. And if we look at the protocol, now A is LF. Okay. Yes. So if you look at the protocol, A2 is get info command. It's a bit strange. So what? Wait. X04 becomes the, not this one, this one, the EOF. When does it sense 0x04? I don't think it ever sends 0x04, does it? Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know why it says that 0x04 is EOF. But it does say that the event character, which causes a bit2 of event occur, is 0x08. That's probably an optimization. I don't know why they did that. The code is that code is that low is buggy. Let's remember, like that's last time that I looked at this, I found a bug in the original software. It would have never worked. Anyway, it sends the event to be 0x0a, which is the new line. And because all of the responses from the device set LF, that sets the interrupt flag so that they, if they were actually trying to do this in a very high performance way, they will get notified for it. I don't know why they did it. I don't think that was a great idea. I don't think this is useful for me. I'm just going to say there was a set bytes, set cars, but I'm going to ignore it. So yes, I can, let's go back to the code, and then I'm nearly done. This part over here, I can just continue. Yeah, I should never get here now if the summation is bad, right? Because if it is, like I'm going, yeah, I want to continue on all of them, so. That P is still there. You see, this is 0x0, so it's set there. Device to host, it may be just me disconnecting the cable, to be honest, so that one doesn't worry me. Awesome, there is a lot of set bits data around, which is a bit strange, but never mind that one. So I can remove this one. I think I removed most of everything, yeah. set line control, like it will keep setting line control to 8 and 1, 7 and 1, 7 and 1, 7 and 1, 8 and 1, and then 8 odd 1. And that might start actually sending stuff. So yeah, it's going to be odd, 8 odd 1. I don't know why, but that's what it does. Yeah, let's say 80, that's all the right data. And then again, it resets, yeah, that's data bit 0, like that's actually correct, it sends data bit 0. I don't know what's going on. No 0, 1, so this is like 0, 0, 0, something like that. Oh, this is get line control. Oh, the get line control is not going to get it from the... Because, yeah, this one it's easier because it's just direction in and out. In this case, the get line control cannot actually do the parity. Get line control needs to read the parity from wherever. Wait, parity, data bits, and subbits. So these are probably in the not in the submission, but in the... So if parsed request, if the parsed request is getLine CTL, then we print this. And if parsed request is getLine control, and good question where the request be. Did not implement it. The Linux kernel driver may not be implementing getLine control. Fun. Okay, page 10 for that. Command gets the line control settings. The settings are as follow. It doesn't say where it's going to get it. Oh, line control is in the data. So this should be print. This is going to be the same. Parse request. Going to be not submission but callback. Payload. I think it's going to be in the... Oh, and that's probably going to, yeah, not supported with int and bytes. It's going to be 16-bit unsigned big endian. No, little endian, sorry. But char instruct format. It's the other way around. This one works. Suppose comma. Yeah, the get line control is working now. So that's why I was getting so much noise. Or it's just the get set line control. So this gets us 90% through what I wanted to do, not 100% of what I wanted to do. I'm going to pretty much stop here. I need to add you see here it says based on AN documents. I'm going to actually do the same thing because now I'm basing myself on next to the right thing, and I like leaving breadcrumbs for the next person. So this is going to be the AN 7.1 instead of the 4.3.4. There we go. We have the documentation on that. I'm going to just put the set baud rate thingy. Oh, it doesn't have, it's at the divisor. Well, that's annoying. Yeah, it doesn't actually use the actual baud rate. It uses a divisor. The value is determined by dividing the desired baud rate into 36864. So if I get the divisor right now, I should like, let's just do that. Set baud div. This way. Sorry for the noise. When I do this thing, I screamed. When I do these things, I usually keep my calculator at hand for easy calcs, but I don't have it at hand right now. Do I not have? Oh, because I didn't. Did I? Yeah, I didn't have it here, of course. If requires if brains and it's not set a baud divider at all. I expected it to actually set the baud divider, which is yes, UX01. I expected it to be sending that request, and it's not. Maybe it's not setting the divider. Oh, set baud rate because it has both of those. And it should tell us 38,400. Baud rate string doesn't exist because I called it the same way. set baud rate 0. Oh, that's actually in data. Everything for the set baud div. No, that one is in the value somehow. Okay, that one is in bytes. How length for and that means is it it doesn't say if it is big endian or low endian. I'm going to assume low endian because USB is usually low endian, so little endian. Now, right? Yes. Set baud rate. Why is it changing the baud rate for everything all the freaking time? It's 9600, sorry, not 3800. Keep going, changing it around. Okay. Anyway, it works. I guess this weekend, if the weather is not great, I will stream again another couple of hours, fixing up the remaining things, trying to refactor this a little bit so that it is usable, and otherwise we're there. We can get all the controls of this plus all the traffic. So no more guessing with cp210x based devices, which is nice because I have a bunch of them. So yeah, it's working. Yay! I'll call it today. Have a nice day / night, everyone, and see you next time I stream. Bye!